Bad guy!
Okay, so far I've already watched half of this, and I just woke up and I've been waiting for this for a decent while. So, yippee. Let's go ahead and finish the second half. Holy moly, this has been a eventful preview event. Right. I wish I recorded the first half as well because a lot was shown, but I'll reveal it in the editing of this video, so.
Tales and expanded fiction. With season 13, this brings the return of Captain Flameheart to the Sea of Thieves.
Been waiting for this.
As Flameheart has been resurrected, so has his Burning Blade ship, and it's back in more monstrous and terrifying than ever before. So
please tell me we can get a variant of that. I know we most likely won't, but
it
please.
almost looks like a living entity itself.
So traditionally, world events have been at set locations throughout the world. The Burning Blade is a little different. The Burning Blade is a ship and therefore moves around the world.
But the twist is, when you've defeated the ship, you have the option to board it and pledge yourself and your crew to Flameheart, enter into his service and become the crew of the Burning Blade, essentially becoming a player-created world event yourselves.
So obviously we have to go in big with this one. At a base, it is larger and more formidable than any ship we've seen on the waves.
This ship has 10 cannons. It has a statue room dedicated to Flameheart at the back. It has a balcony where Flameheart likes to take in the view every morning with his coffee. And most importantly, it's got a massive flamethrower at the front.
Players will be able to pull a lever on their ship and fire 2 massive balls of fire out the front of their ship, which is really interesting because we've never actually had an offensive weapon that's frontal facing before. So I think this is going to create some really interesting dynamic naval combat situations.
So once you take over the Burning Blade, you are on this really powerful warship and you have a skeleton crew helping you as well. So even smaller crews have every chance of crewing the Burning Blade because the skeletons will come to your aid.
So you could have skeletons repairing while you're on the cannons firing at enemies, which is excellent.
But it's not just about sailing around the world, which of course you can do. It's about completing orders in service of Captain Flameheart. So around the world, there'll be numerous skeleton camps.
You'll notice the Reapers have been conducting excavations on the surface, and they've been dragging up all sorts of ancient artifacts and ancient secrets from below the surface.
Underground, there's basically a chamber with a prism that the players can control to draw out constellations on the ceiling in order to help the ritual come to completion and get that knowledge of the ancients.
Each of these temples contains the secrets of the ancients, secrets that Flameheart wants above anything else. And as part of taking control of the ship, you'll be able to sail around the world, visit these ancient temples deep below these skeleton camps, engaging new puzzle gameplay, discover treasures, but what you're really after is the Orb of Secrets, a new treasure artifact that Flameheart wants. Collecting these secrets will add tribute to the Burning Blade ship.
The more tribute that you collect, the more value will be aboard the Burning Blade. But you will lose the Burning Blade if it sinks or when you choose to go and cash that tribute in to Flameheart. So it's really up to you how long you think you can hold on to it with that risk reward, because everybody in the world is going to be coming for you. They're going to know you're in there and know you've got high value. So it really becomes this dynamic player-created world event with players versus players in the sandbox.
So even though you can visit these skeleton camps while in control of the Burning Blade, it's not only tightly wedded to that new gameplay. Players can also visit them anytime in their adventures. So should players visit these skeleton camps when they're not the crew of the Burning Blade, the skeletons won't be too happy that you found a way inside these camps, and you'll be engaging in a combat-focused encounter to discover its secrets.
What's really exciting about Season 13 is the interplay of the features and the way that they'll bring players together and combine to create new stories. And whether you're the crew of the Burning Blade who wants to protect it, or everyone else who wants to take it down and steal that value, everything in Season 13 will bring you together.
So towards the end of the year, we have Season 14, and while it's very early for us to talk about. We wanted to share some of our thinking here because it is totally aligned with this vision for what 2024 can be. This laser focus on the sandbox and mechanics that add to the variety of stories you can encounter in Sea of Thieves.
Internally, we're referring to Season 14 as Pirates of Mischief. Sea of Thieves has always had this playful, mischievous, and funny sense of humour. And with Season 14, we're expanding on that. The two main areas that we're exploring are new ways to stealth and new ways to cause mischief in the world.
So I think a real aspect of the Sea of Thieves experience that we haven't dived too deep into previously is the idea of being a stealthy pirate.
So when you think about stealth in Sea of Thieves and enhancing that, imagine being able to crouch and move around the world silently, or the ability to hang off the side of an enemy's ship.
When we were having these initial conversations about Season 14, the first thing I thought of was the cardboard boxes in Metal Gear Solid. Could we allow players to climb into chests, and if they choose, they can actually scuttle around with their little legs out the bottom? And also, if they choose to, keep the ruse up, could other players come along and pick them up like a normal loot chest or treasure chest or whatever and take it onto their ship?
So another cool thing that we've been working on is the blow dart, which is another new weapon that players can wield from the armory and use that to kind of sneak aboard enemy ships and fire kind of these custom darts into players that will do different effects.
So imagine a blow dart that tracks whatever it sticks to, whether that's a ship, a chest, an item, a player.
Ones that could potentially like lure skeletons to like a specific position, so you can throw a firebomb in there, or explode a gunpowder keg, or darts that can trigger specific sound effects, which is quite evil and cunning, where you could board an enemy ship and shoot the capstan and it sounds like it's dropping, or shoot the ladders and it sounds like someone's climbing up them.
And then thinking about some of the ways that we want to add more mischief to the world, one of these is the idea of traps.
So much like the kind of blunderbombs or firebombs, I've been thinking about them being this kind of throwable trap that players can kind of throw into the world. Think of it like a spring trap that players can place on the islands to trap skeletons on a bounty
FNAF reference.
or on a fort, or they could place it at the top of their ladders to prevent players from boarding their ships and get caught in this trap.
Along with these, we're also bringing a really exciting new tool, and it's the grapple gun, which is a dual-purpose rifle. So it allows you to traverse the environment much quicker because you're able to grapple yourself up to a ledge, for example, but you can also harpoon items and other players in.
So some of the new cool uses we've seen from the grapple gun in our early playtests are players firing themselves out of the cannon towards another ship to try and board them, and perhaps overcooking it and then using the grapple gun to fire it at the deck and propel themselves down onto it. Or
that would be so
cool. Like an oncoming ship and then using the grapple gun to kind of grapple up and onto their ship so that they can board them and drop their anchor or have a fight with them.
To make sure that the grapple gun is balanced, it does have ammunition. You'll have arrowheads, and these essentially break off when you successfully use the grapple gun, meaning you can't continuously keep grappling. There is a skill to using the gun successfully and accurately and efficiently.
You know what?
So
that
when we
makes
think
sense.
about 2024, we really think about getting to the very heart of what makes Sea of Thieves great. That is your stories, powered by that design philosophy of tools, not rules. Season 12, 13 and 14 are fully exploring that, giving you new options, new tools, and fundamentally new possibilities that make this game unique and special.
I think when you look at the year ahead for Sea of Thieves, our plans for Season 12, Season 13 and Season 14, it's kind of making this shift away from these big kind of systemic changes to Sea of Thieves and returning back to the core of what makes Sea of Thieves so special, the heart of Sea of Thieves, about giving players new tools to create new stories out there in the world.
We're ultimately shaking up the meta, giving players new tools to learn and master. And I can't wait to see what combinations players start settling on before we shake it back up again.
While everything that you're seeing today is still work in progress and possibly subject to change in some ways, we will be giving more insights onto how these things are developing as we come closer to launch for each of them.
With the richness of all these new seasons, and of course PlayStation Pirates joining us as well, it is such an exciting year for Sea of Thieves in 2024.
That seems really exciting.
Thank you for joining us for the Sea of Thieves 2024 preview event. We hope you've enjoyed this sneak peek at what's coming throughout the rest of the year. There's still a lot more to reveal for these seasons, so keep an eye on the horizon as we'll have more to share closer to each season's launch. For more information and to keep up to date with what's new in Sea of Thieves, check out our social channels. So until our paths cross again, happy sailing, and we'll see you on the seas.
Alright. You know what? That was a really cool preview event. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and review the rest of the stuff and give y'all my thoughts and opinions on everything, because I want it to be relatively quiet for the reaction, but this is really awesome what they're bringing to the game. I'm excited. Okay, so the double barrel pistol is definitely a weapon I'm probably not gonna use. Although it's definitely an awesome concept and is going to be very useful, it's just not gonna be my thing. I'm more of a close-up shoot kind of guy, or single shot, a lot of damage. You know? So, I ain't gonna use it, but definitely a really cool weapon. I'll give it that. Okay, so the knife is really mid. The throwing knife, I should say. Because I don't want to throw my weapon, have somebody else pick it up, and then them have a chance at throwing it back at me. Although that's definitely a really cool idea, and I'll definitely be abusing that whenever someone's using it against me, it's just not gonna be my type of thing. Although I will definitely be using it on sneaking missions where I can just sneak up behind somebody and just, yeah! Literally stab them in the back. So that is gonna both be fun to fight against, but not fun to use, in my opinion. At least. And I'm also not gonna be using this. I'm sticking with my sword pistol, thank you. The scatter shot. I'm 1,000% gonna stock up 1,000 of those before I start actually using them. Because, if I'm just spamming scatter shots, sure, initially it will be tier 1 holes, but if I keep on hitting the same spot numerous times with a scatter shot, then the holes will increase, and that just seems like a massive advantage over the battlefield if you have a lot of those. So the bone collar, I'm going to use that so much when I'm in solo because it's so stressful in solos. Especially when you're not at all the best player like me. I am not that good at the game as compared to other people. So this will definitely be very handy to have something assist me while I'm trying to do other things. I can, shoot one on the enemy ship, have that distract them, have some time to repair my ship for a few seconds, and yeah. So the wind collar, it's okay. It's not the most exciting thing to be revealed in this, I'll tell you that much. I'm more excited for the cannonball related things, but yeah, it's something. I'll say that. It'll be something I use every here and there. It won't be something that I rely on constantly because I rather enjoy the taking fall damage part of the game, and I don't want to be taken away. As well as I feel it might be a little OP if you can literally blow into it and then it launches players miles away, and that just doesn't seem that fun. Although it being used in the water is definitely very useful. That's for certain. But otherwise, it's a okay thing. So balancing on harpoons is definitely going to be something I'm gonna forget about a numerous amount of times. And once I start remembering it's a feature, I'm going to abuse it. For the simplest reason that is just such a cool feature. And I wouldn't say I'm abusing it, I would just use it to its fullest potential. because that would just make things so much more cinematic in my opinion. And if they ever do add free camera, which I'm still waiting for, that would allow us to make so many awesome sort of cinematic shots in movies. Zip lines are finally coming. Finally! I've had so much fun with them on the Monkey Island Tall Tale because I've completed the entire thing. It's so much fun to use those. Like every now and then I would just go to the end of a zip line just so that I can use it again. They're so much fun and I'm excited that they're finally coming to the base game. Yippee! The Flameheart ship is terrifying. I already didn't like Reapers in the first place because they're a bunch of anuses, but this takes it to a whole nother level of just terrifying when you see it on the map. Holy. I'm gonna be running from the ship faster than Usain Bolt can run. 10 times faster. Like, jeez. I am not gonna face that thing with its, 10,000 cannons that they said it had. So, I ain't going near that. The grapple gun is awesome. And I'm really excited for Season 14 when that releases now because of that. But that's also sadly a very long ways away from now. So, we got a long time to wait, especially considering the grapple gun currently has the sniper reloading animation from what I've seen in this. Well, that's a bit bumming because that shows that it won't come out for a very long time. I mean, duh, it's not coming out for a very long time. It's season 14, 2 seasons away from now. So, I'm still very excited for the future of Sea of Thieves this year. This seems like a very promising year for Sea of Thieves, and they might even add more than just that they haven't shown yet, which is also what they typically do every now and then. So, I'm excited to see what the future brings. This is all still work in progress, and considering what they got, it's all awesome. And yeah, that's my review of the 2024 Sea of Thieves preview event, so see y'all later. Also, owls are coming, which I've been waiting for.